Hi, everybody. This is Sean coming at you here at the very end of the year 2024. The doldrums between Christmas and New Year's where no podcast dares to tread. Well, I dare! Although I don't really have a regular episode for you this week because, of course, of the events of our previous episode, the season finale of season 5. Speaking of which, if you haven't gotten all the way through it, listen through to the very end. And I mean that, the very end. It's a pretty good time. Thank you so much to Eli for being down to close out the Five Guys bit, in probably the silliest way that I possibly could have imagined. But yeah, you might be wondering, well, what the heck am I doing putting out an episode here then, even if it is a little snippet of one? Well, I wanted to use this as an opportunity to lay out a goal that I have for 2025, which is to grow this show and to grow it quite a bit. And to do that, if you have somebody that you know who is, say, starting out in design or maybe has been doing a design career for a while and they're feeling like they are isolated, the usual things that people in this field feel like when they're doing creative work. I've been there. That's kind of the whole point of this show. Maybe tell them about what's going on. So spread the word to friends and family, of course, but also, hey, please spread the word on Apple Podcasts. Now, you might not use Apple Podcasts. I know a lot of our audience doesn't ultimately because it's kind of old fashioned. And there was that long period in time where they made the player just absolutely awful for reasons that I still don't quite understand. You know, how podcasts are recorded to tape. Perfect metaphor for a podcast player. Anyway, Apple Podcast rankings actually matter a lot for a whole bunch of other podcast players, including Overcast, which is the one that I tend to use the most. So if you are wanting to help out the show and are too embarrassed of it to tell friends, which I totally get, then leaving an Apple Podcast review is sort of the best way to do it. That is a place that I go and I look at quite a bit. If you want one of your silly stories about design mistakes to be on the show, leave it as a 5-star Apple Podcast review, and I will potentially start reading it out during season 6. This is your call to action. I want to hear your stories, and I want to see those stars. Don't punch me. That's how that happens in a cartoon, but in real life, I don't think it works that way. So don't punch me, and please leave me a 5-star review. How did this get? I feel like this was a pretty good take. And then it got really off track. So anyway, back to the point, which is 2025. How are we going to start things off? Well, season 6 is going to be starting up in sort of the February zone, like late February. So we're going to have a couple things in between. But unlike in previous years where those have purely been reruns, I actually have some new stuff that I think probably a lot of people on this feed have not yet heard, such as our live show out in Seattle this summer, such as the dog park audio that we recorded at TypeCon. Unfortunately, not all of the dog park audio. There is a lost episode, which I think will be discussed a little bit in that. But yeah, there's some fun stuff in there. So yeah, that's what's coming at you sort of in January, and then sort of late February-ish is where we are going to be kicking off season 6. So please share the show, and I hope to see you on Apple Podcasts. Okay, bye. Did I say thank? I think I did say thank. Is it worth going back and re-recording that so I don't say thank and I say the plural of... Also, why is it plural? What? I'm just doing a singular thank. Thank you. Thanks to you. Why are they different? That's stupid. Language is stupid, everyone. Okay, bye.